We often think that saving thousands of dollars requires some big, complicated financial move. But what if the fastest way to a richer life isn't about what you start doing, but what you stop doing? For years, my bank account felt like a revolving door. Money came in, and money went straight back out. It wasn't until I made a conscious decision to eliminate just a few specific types of purchases that everything changed. This isn't about deprivation. This is about addition by subtraction.
Welcome back to Modern Financial Habits. Now, before we dive into the list, I want to be really clear. This is not a video of bad things you should feel guilty about buying. This isn't about extreme minimalism or depriving yourself. This is simply my story. These are the 5 things that, for me, were delivering low value for a very high cost. My goal here isn't to tell you what to stop buying, it's to inspire you to look at your own spending and ask one powerful question. Is this purchase truly adding joy and value to my life, or is it just a habit? We'll cover everything from daily routines to big-ticket items, but you'll definitely want to stay for number 5. It's the one I thought was making me seem sophisticated, but in reality, it was just keeping me broke.
All right, let's start with a classic. The first thing I stopped buying was the daily $5 takeaway coffee. Now, hold on, this is not another lecture about the latte factor. I love coffee. The problem was never the coffee. The problem was the mindless routine and the illusion that this daily purchase was a treat. For me, that habit wasn't about the quality of the coffee. It was a crutch, a reward for getting through my morning commute, a way to kill time, a moment of luxury that was actually just a deeply ingrained habit. When I did the math, it was over $1,200 a year, but the real cost was psychological. It tricked my brain into feeling like I had already treated myself for the day, which stopped me from seeking out more meaningful rewards. I was trading a significant amount of future freedom for a forgettable 10-minute experience. So, what did I do? I didn't switch to bad instant coffee. I invested $100 into a great coffee machine and started buying bags of high-quality, locally roasted beans. I created a morning ritual at home that was better, cheaper, and far more intentional. I didn't just save money, I genuinely upgraded my entire morning experience. The second thing I stopped buying was fast fashion. For years, my closet was overflowing, yet somehow I always had that classic feeling I have nothing to wear. I kept buying cheap, trendy clothes online, a new shirt for a night out, a new dress just because it was on sale. And honestly, it felt like a bargain. But then I realized I was caught in a cycle. These clothes weren't built to last. They were designed to be disposable. They'd look good for a few washes, then fade, lose their shape. I wasn't building a wardrobe. I was just renting a stream of low-quality garments. The turning point was when I stopped thinking in terms of price and started thinking about cost per wear. That $20 trendy shirt I wore twice, that's $10 per wear. But the $100 sweater I've worn 50 times, only $2 per wear. So I stopped chasing the constant small purchases. Instead, I saved that money and invested in fewer, timeless pieces I truly love, pieces that last for years. It's not about spending less on clothes, it's about spending smarter on clothes. And now, my closet is half the size, but my satisfaction, it is more than doubled.
Thing number 3 is one that might feel personal for a lot of us, myself included. I stopped buying the latest and greatest tech gadget the moment it was released. You know the cycle. The big keynote announcement, the online hype, The manufactured feeling that your perfectly good one-year-old phone is suddenly an ancient dinosaur. For years, I was on that upgrade treadmill. I told myself I needed the better camera or the faster processor for my so-called productivity. But if I'm being honest, I was just buying into a brilliant marketing strategy designed to create dissatisfaction with what I already owned. The improvements were usually minor, but the cost, major, often $1,000 or more. I was trading a huge amount of money for a tiny incremental improvement I barely noticed after the first week. So now my new rule is simple. I upgrade when my current device no longer serves its function, not when a newer one is released. I switch from a 1-year cycle to a 3, 4, even 5-year cycle. And you know what? A 2-year-old flagship phone is still an incredible piece of technology. The freedom that comes from stepping off that marketing treadmill, it's incredible. You're no longer a passive consumer. You become an intentional user.
The fourth thing I stopped buying, or more accurately, stopped renting, was an excess of digital subscriptions and services. Now, we've talked before about auditing your subscriptions to find the ones you forgot about. This is a level deeper. This is about intentionally choosing to live with fewer services, even the ones you actively use. I took a hard look and realized I had a subscription for everything. 3 different video streaming services, a music service, a podcast service, multiple cloud storage accounts, a fitness app, a meditation app. Each one was a small monthly payment, but together they created a significant digital rent I had to pay just to access pieces of my own life. The real cost wasn't just the money, it was the decision fatigue. It was the low-level anxiety of feeling like I had to constantly consume all this content to get my money's worth. I was suffering from digital clutter. So I adopted a one-in, one-out philosophy for entertainment. If I wanted to try a new streaming service for a month, another one had to be canceled. I consolidated all my cloud storage into one plan. I chose one music service. Instead of an overwhelming buffet of digital content, I curated a small selection of high-quality services that I used intentionally. The goal wasn't to have access to everything, but to fully enjoy a few things. And finally, we've arrived at number 5. The one I said I thought was making me seem sophisticated, but was really just keeping me broke. And it wasn't a single object. It was an idea. It was the deeply ingrained belief that brand name is better. For years, I operated under the subconscious assumption that if an item had a fancy label and a higher price tag, it was inherently superior. Brand name groceries, brand name medicine, brand name cleaning supplies. I was paying a 20, 30, sometimes 50% premium for the marketing, the packaging, and the illusion of a better lifestyle. I thought choosing the well-known brand was a sign of success and intelligence. But then I started to do the research. I learned that in most countries, the generic or store brand version of many products, especially medicine, pantry staples like flour and sugar, and basic cleaning products, is legally required to have the exact same active ingredients as the brand name version. They are often made in the exact same factory. The only real difference is the label and the millions of dollars spent on advertising to convince you their version is special. My new habit is simple. I buy for the ingredients, not the image. I ignore the flashy marketing on the front of the box, and I read the ingredients list on the back. This isn't about being cheap. It's about refusing to pay for a company's advertising budget. The savings are not small. Across a year of shopping, this one mental shift can easily save you over $1,000. So there you have it, my personal list. For me, this journey wasn't about deprivation, it was about discovery. By consciously cutting out the things that didn't bring me true value, I freed up not just thousands of dollars, but also my time and my mental space for the things that actually did. We looked at the daily coffee habit, the fast fashion cycle, the tech upgrade treadmill, digital clutter, and the brand name premium.
Again, your list will be different from mine, and that's the whole point. The real challenge and the real reward is to create your own list, to look at your spending and ask that simple question: is this purchase bringing me closer to the life I want, or is it just a habit? I would love to see what you discover. What is one thing you're considering cutting back on to free up money for something you truly love? Share your idea in the comments below. If this video inspired you to think differently, please hit that subscribe button to continue the journey with us. And now that you've found all this extra cash, the next logical question is, what's the smartest thing to do with it? That's why you need to click here to watch our next video, Top 5 Investing Myths That Are Holding You Back. I'll see you there.